and we will be able to look at the main event, which is flyweight title bout for Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. Cool. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Interesting one. Let's do that.
I remember when the fight was announced, everyone's like, what? Who?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Why?
Yeah. And
Why?
it's like, but the more you read into Erceg, the more you watch his fights, you see who he trains with. This has everything, all the ingredients here to be an upset.
Yeah.
All the ingredients to be, and if I'm not mistaken, is this the biggest sort of gap in the rankings between a challenger and a title holder since Bisping Henderson?
No, there would have been another one. For example, Strickland and Izzy, for example, would have been one.
Where's
But
where's Us?
he's 10. Erceg is 10, I believe.
Strickland was ranked, I think, 6th when he fought Izzy.
He was, yeah.
I think
And
this
then
might be the.
you've also got.
I mean, you had TJ. TJ took on a short notice fight when Barral was weight cutting and fell over and got concussion, but I can't remember the fighter. And then you had Khabib and who did Khabib beat for the belt? Al Iaquinta as well.
Oh yeah. But sometimes this does happen, as you rightly pointed out. But that's just because, you know, the title holder has wiped out the division, and that's exactly what Pantoja's done, basically, hasn't he? He's the guy that's go on. Sorry,
he's not fully wiped out the division, but the contenders have kind of wiped themselves out, or wiped each other out.
Yeah,
it's not like the Holloway and Volkanovski situation where Volkanovski ran through the division and then Max ran through the division while Volkanovski couldn't get fights because Max was running through the fighters that were meant to be fighting him.
Yeah,
it's kind of been Pantoja's beat the top guys, but the guys underneath the top guys are fighting each other, and then they're not building up enough winning streaks to get that fight as well or move up the rankings. So a bit of a weird division, that one.
Yeah, it really is, because we've got a lot of people who have been crying from the nosebleeds, and I've heard their cries in my sleep. They're saying, "What about Makayev?" You know, it's that kind of thing. And yeah, Muhammad Makayev, he got his last win, of course, against, it was Perez, wasn't it? But it wasn't convincing enough.
It was lackluster.
Yeah,
lackluster.
That's true. It wasn't convincing enough for me anyway, and it wasn't convincing enough for me to say or be confident that he would do what's needed to be done against Alexandre Pantoja. So whilst I think, look, Makayev's on paper in a better position and should be taking that fight, I also wouldn't mind him kind of working on a few things before it gets. I just don't think he's ready yet.
Yeah, same.
But you know, looking at, you know, on that note, particularly for Erceg, do you think it's a little bit too much too soon for him? Because he just knocked out Matt Schnell, who's ranked 11. And so, you know, he's not done a lot else. It's not a significant thing to say, right, title shot. You know, I've seen enough. Get him in there with John Jones. You know what people have been saying these days. So do you think it might be a little bit too much too soon?
The reason why I'm going to say no is because of who he's around. Around Jack Della Maddalena, he's around Volkanovski. I think he's around Izzy quite a bit as well. I don't think he's going to be overawed by it all. And I know training in the gym and doing sparring is very different to being under the lights against a Pantoja in Brazil. I fully get that.
Yeah.
But I also think there has to be some sort of credibility in who you surround yourself with and who you're in the gym with on a daily basis. See the sort of what those three fighters especially go through. And I think he's going to take, I'm confident from knowing that he trains with them, he can hang with some of those guys, take that into this fight. So I don't think he's going to be overall.
You think so? Yeah, you do see it when, I mean, I've had it when I've seen Khabib rock up in someone's corner and all of a sudden I've changed my pick last minute. So, you know what I mean? So wait, what? Khabib said? Okay, he's got it. He's got it. Yeah, he's got it. You know what I mean? I've definitely seen that. I'm guilty of that, and I don't regret doing that because, you know, they won, obviously. But okay. Well, let's put it this way then: if Erceg has a chance in this fight, how do you see him getting it done?
Now you put me on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, let's discuss it, right? It's not gonna go. If I get grappling numbers up here, it's not gonna be on the ground. Like, he's got to
No, it's
avoid that
not.
like the plague. He's got to have the urgency to stand to his feet. But does he
Yeah.
kind of catch Pantoja in those scrambles or on the break? Could that be?
Pantoja's so well rounded. I mean,
He
you
really
saw him in
is,
there with Moreno. Moreno gave
bro.
him everything he had,
Yeah, yeah.
and he just ate it. He almost just took it on the chin, like, what's this?
Mm.
What, like, it almost in disgust, as if to say, you'll hit me with your hardest shot, thinking it's gonna do me something. And it's like we've seen Moreno put down Figgy and
Yeah,
Kai Car France, but Pantoja's eating shots for days like it's nothing.
yeah. He
So
was possessed.
yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not just him we've seen that against. He's just got a good chin and he's so durable. His cardio is off the chain.
it is.
Against Roy Val, I mean, we saw Roy Val against Moreno
Yeah,
the improved version of him. Roy Val couldn't do anything
nah,
against Pantoja. It was a complete shutout.
yeah.
So it means Erceg for me, it's got to be combinations. You've got to catch him with stuff that he's not expecting. You've got to
Mm,
break Pantoja's rhythm.
yeah.
Uh, you can't be standing in front of Pantoja. You've got to be creating angles, and anytime he comes in, you got to threaten whether it be an uppercut, a knee. You may have to just take it to the cage and maybe have your back up against the cage so he can't take you down in open space as well. But I
Mm,
think it's going to have to be the striking if you're going to get Pantoja out there. I just
yeah.
don't know if anyone's got the power in that division to take him out.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to be the next question. Do you think that Erceg's got more power then, of course, than is those who've tried and failed before, like Moreno, Roy Val? I guess is he more powerful? He's been knocking people out.
He may be more powerful.
Is it
I
enough?
don't know if he's as quick as those guys.
True. Yeah, I wouldn't put him quicker than the likes of Moreno and Royville. No, it's a good point. Hmm. Well, I guess it's. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I did see a post from Mikhail on Twitter earlier today where he basically was talking about this. He was talking about how he's number 6. He hasn't had his shot. And of course, you got Erceg who has, of course. And we've been talking about it all stream. But what do you think is next for Pantoja should he gets this win?
I
Do you
think
think who do we feed him next?
I think it has to be Mikhail. I think the reason Mikhail didn't get this fight is because the turnaround would have been quite quick for Mikhail. I think the UFC probably thought, and the fact that his last performance wasn't that amazing as well. Like he got the W, but you wouldn't say he blew anyone away with that performance.
Hmm.
And if we're gonna go by the UFC like recent history, if you have a good performance, that's when you get pushed, as opposed to just winning fights.
Yeah.
So I think Mikhail is definitely next, though, if Pantoja comes through. He
Yeah.
has to be. It'll be crazy if he's not.
Yeah. That's true. He surely. I wonder who else there would be up there. I did have a picture actually. Didn't end up getting that loaded up in time, but I wonder who else there would be in the mix to even consider. But
I don't know. Moreno's taking a sabbatical. Just
yeah.
beating Royval.
Mm-mm.
I think it is Mikhail.
It's got to be that guy. Okay, let's get the gauges up and let's have a look what the people are saying in the chats, and then we can wrap up the show for that as well. George Murray says Sunday never tasted so good. He's convinced he's going to be getting that that Chinese off of me for picking Erceg in this one. And he also says Usman versus Masvidal 1. I'm not sure he's referencing there. Probably the way the fight's going to turn out.
Oh, is that discrepancy in rankings? Maybe.
Oh,
But
maybe.
even then, Masvidal was ranked top 5 because he had just beaten Askren.
Yeah, he would have been up there.
Askren came into the division at around 5 or 6.
Mm-mm. So even then, it wouldn't have been the one. But there's been a few a bit like that. Usman didn't really clean up the division. He just kept fighting the same people over and over again, which was a bit like what Makic has been doing lately as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, well, not 4 or 55er in as a title defense.
Yeah.
First one, so
You literally got one job, and that's
yeah,
to stop doing other people's jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Do your job.
Yeah. So it remains to be seen
Uh,
what happens with that.
mm. And then George Murray says everyone else in top 10 either was booked or injured, so they chose who made a better statement.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah, they kind of,
Our Bazzi picked up an injury as well, didn't he?
yeah,
That was meant to be him versus Moreno before I came
yeah.
in short notice.
Mm-mm. I reckon it could be a cute narrative if, let me play it out, Erceg gets the win against Pantoja. Pantoja's fairly injured, or it's like a freak win,
Yeah.
and they want to run it back, but then Makayev steps in and fights Erceg, like an interim perhaps, or something like that. And then Pantoja comes back and fights the winner for the divisional belt or something. You know, it's a cute narrative. It could
Yeah, yeah.
happen,
I like it.
but
I'm on board.
yeah. It might be far fetched, but if that does, you better believe I'm clipping this right here and
Yeah. Taking all the credit.
we're taking that. We're taking that. Okay, cool. That's brilliant. So that's basically is some of the chats over there. So let's talk about striking on this run. Who gets it? Is it going to be Pantoja or is it going to be Steve Erceg? Who's going to have the advantage? I would probably have to go Erceg, although just because it's his tool to win, he's not going to have the grappling. It's just
No,
how he's
but
going to do it.
yeah, do you know I will as well because I think Pantoja does a good job of disguising his striking through his wrestling and grappling. So yeah, I'll go Erceg.
Yeah, yeah, and Pantoja's striking is violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, grappling. I guess we can quickly pop that in there for Pantoja. He's got that one. Power. I think would have to say if anyone's going to have it, it's got to be Erceg, huh?
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
think so.
And then speed.
Erceg again.
I've seen looking at Moreno, right, using him as a sort of yardstick to go by.
Yeah.
Moreno's fast, and I was impressed at how quick Pantoja was against
I
Moreno.
agree. I think Pantoja's got fantastic timing as opposed to fantastic speed.
Timing's the word. Timing's the word. It's great.
He's got fantastic. So even you look at the times where Moreno was starting to get a bit of momentum going, he just knew when to go for the single leg or the double leg, and
Yeah.
his timing on that. I think his timing is immaculate. I don't know if his speed is that great though, or better than Erceg.
So Erceg with speed, then perhaps.
Crazy that we're putting more ticks for Erceg.
Yeah. Well, cardio is going to be for
Yeah,
Pantoja.
okay,
Yeah. Pantoja gets. I mean, he could even get striking too. He could, in theory, get striking too. We could probably toss it over to the other side. I think we'd have to make an argument for that. But when you look at this fight and how it plays out, let's see who's got more significant strikes. It does side on paper. Erceg has more significant strikes. That's because he doesn't really have that kind of grappling style to his game, and of course with Pantoja he would. So landed per minute, it sides with Erceg. Although, yeah, with Pantoja as well, he does have a good significant striking differential there too. Interesting. Wins by knockouts. Yeah, more knockouts are for Pantoja. 9% of his wins are by knockout. About the same fighting time as well. Submissions. Actually, that's interesting. I don't know if I want to trust these stats anymore. Apparently, submissions does favor Steve Erceg. He's got 55% of his wins come by submission, and Pantoja's 37% of his wins come by submissions.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't know how that works.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Pinch of salt with that, but
Yeah,
this is how it looks on the night. I would go with Pantoja, but the more I look at this matchup, the more I've looked at this matchup, the more I've been, ooh.
yeah.
You know, my head's been turned a bit, and I'm thinking there can be something disgusting happening on the weekend.
There's something I'm a bit like you. There's something in my mind going Erceg.
Yeah.
But the bigger part of my brain is going, bro, fix up, man. It's Pantoja. What we doing there? So I'm gonna go with this. Look, I'm not a betting man. If I was a betting man, I'd actually put money on Erceg
Yeah.
because the returns could be crazy.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a safe bet, got to be Pantoja. It just has to be. For me, he has so many routes to victory.
Yeah. That's it,
And
right?
he knows how to get it done. He's been doing this for such a long time now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I'll probably go with Pantoja, and he's also just been trying to keep active. You know, you can see how he's won. He's staying hot, he's staying active. He wants someone, anyone, and he's picked out Erceg because he's the next possible candidate. And I don't think he's going to take it easy or lightly. I think he's going to give him the very best that he's got, but he just wants to get as many title defenses under his belt as possible to put on the legacy. And so this is just, he wants to add this to that. And I remember the days when people were really racking up like defenses 8, 6, 7 long, but it seems to be changing hands a lot lately.
And not just going up in weight class and trying to get champ status.
Trying to get like double belts now, yeah.
Crazy.
Do your jobs,
Bring back the good old days.
The good old days. The good old days. All right. Well, that actually wraps it up. That would be the end